What is up, guys? My name is Space, your intergalactic guide to Starship EVO. We're back with episode 3 of Call of the Void. And, well, we got a lot done so far. But I think it's time to make a mining ship. Alright, so, what I want to do is go ahead and collect, well, probably some copper and such. We already have loads of iron. Silver we should be good on. Let me see how much silver we got. We got 45 silver, loads of iron. I just need copper. So I'm going to do a copper and a scrap run, I'd say, and get that out of the way right now. And after that, I want to start getting some things put together so we can actually get our first starter ship, a good mining ship going. So yeah, that's the game plan. So I need to go ahead and I might as well get some scrap while I'm here and just go ahead and let that start making scrappy hull. So scrap run time. Alright, giga scrap run. I have so much now. I don't even know how much scrap I got, but I'm almost 400% overloaded, so it has to be a lot. Yeah, put the other 50 in there. How's the iron doing? Looking pretty good. Alright, so we got a lot of this big essentials here. Let me get our silicon. Oh yeah. Let me feed the other rocks in. More rocks for your troubles. And you can start doing iron. We don't have any coal left in there. We're just going to take the coal from the silver because we haven't had to process silver in a while. And you can have all of that. How's the copper looking? The copper is also done, and we have some coal we could give. I'm just going to feed it all to the iron. Because iron is really what we need, and I think we have 100 copper stack now. Look at that, we almost have 198. Okay, so let's jump start this just a tiny bit. We'll give it the 2 iron that it's made so far, and we'll get started on the ship, and it will finish all that stuff up while we're building. Alright, it's time. Let's get to a nice little sunny area. We'll just build it right here. This is nice. Alright guys, let us begin. Turn on jetpack, turn on no clip. With the jetpack now we can finally turn ourselves sideways. We couldn't even do that with no clip. So that's a nice advantage to the jetpack. So let's get our starter block. Rule of thumb, blue is ship, green is base. So let's choose what size I want to make this initially. So let's go. I always like to start with the smallest grid, honestly, first, and then kind of go from there. Alright, so I've realized I got to do the storage crate in a different size because it was angle offset. Like the offset wasn't right. So let me switch the size here, because as you can see here, when I do this, it is not in the middle. So what we're going to do is probably do the smaller grid and then just stretch it way out, because we can do 32 here. So I think this would be making a lot more sense, because we can get the same amount of size out of this, but make it more like that. Will it still be 64? No, it's 16,000. So we get far less size here, which is okay, honestly. But we can make a more compact design this way. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and get back to work. Sorry about that. Had to redo that first little bit. It's really important that you have that correct symmetry, or else you could end up running into a lot of problems later on in the build. Alright, this is what I got so far. I went ahead and made the core of the vessel. So I have all of our batteries lined up, added these cool decorative fans, which you can actually change the fan velocity. I might mess with that. I added some of the flat lights, like it, and then I added vents on top of them, add a cool aesthetic. We're putting it in the icy kind of hyperdrive blue is going to be kind of the main internal colors. And then I have a small abigate I'm going to set up here. This is either going to be the landing gear or some kind of door. I'm still deciding on what that's going to control. Went ahead and painted the main body a ordinary gray. Let me go ahead and change the color of our Starship computer. But yeah, then we got our cockpit pilot seat right here. You can access the storage unit from the front or the back. We have that little slot right there. Alright, I'm going to keep working on this and I'll be back with you guys when we got the second update. Alright, this is what I got so far for the body. I've decided I was going to do trapdoors for each side for the internals. We got a trapdoor there and a trapdoor over here. And I'm probably going to go ahead and we'll keep this. I was kind of wanting to put the construction anchor somewhere, and I'm trying to figure out where I'd like to put that. Might put it on the top or something. The next thing I'm going to work on is start working on the collector and stuff like that. I'm going to mount all that stuff to the bottom because you want the collector to suck in from the bottom. You don't want it to go from the top because it'll go and suck through your windshield. And in the past, this gave me all kinds of issues. So I'm going to mount the collector on here and then start getting some pancake landing gear and some bottom thrusters going. I'm going to kind of make like, it's almost going to look like a pontoon boat, if you really think about it. That's kind of the idea I'm going for. But yeah, I'll be back with you guys here real soon. I hope you like the idea I have so far. And I think this will be a cool little miner when we're finished. Be right back. let me give you a rundown of what I got so far. I went ahead and started making the conveyor system on the bottom. So I have the collector right here. This is going to collect all of our materials, minerals, whatever comes in. It's going to feed in through here in a double pipe to be able to pull a little bit more since I made it small pipes. And then we have a filter here and is set up to include world items rock, and that will pull any of the rocks that I collect and spit them out the sides. In theory, we'll have to test it to make sure I have it set up correctly. And then this one is set up to exclude rocks, and then it's going to pull right into the storage unit and fill up our storage unit with whatever materials we need, scrap, wood, or ore. And then right here is we have a secondary that goes straight into the storage unit as a overflow, and that will let rocks in, but over time the rocks will get pulled out of the storage unit and then expelled. So we're gonna test it. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some rocks. I'm just gonna probably go blast into a cliff or something real quick, get a bunch of rocks, and then I'm gonna feed it into the system, and we're gonna see if it spits out the rocks or if it doesn't work. Alright, we're here and I got a bunch of rocks. So what I'm gonna do, turn the collector on collect, and I'm gonna make it maximum distance, and I'm going to just throw all these rocks on the ground and it should collect them. Okay, where's my rocks? Rocks, 131 rocks. And then it's going to pick them up. And look at that, it's spitting them out. Yeah, it's working! Ah! Well, I fell in our copper mine. Okay. It's working! See, that's how simple it is. And then we can check our main storage unit and see there is some rocks, but watch, it's pulling the rocks out. It's gonna spit them all out. Now, let me feed it some wood, and then we'll see what it does. Or actually, I'll just feed it a random item. I'll feed it a piston. Yum, yum, yum. And then we're gonna see the piston won't get spit out. It's actually going to add it in. And since I have a double connection there, it's going to add it fairly quick. The smaller the pipes, the slower the transfer speed's going to be, and the smaller the collector, the less space you can have as a buffer in between. But see, it ate up all that piston over time. It takes some time to eat it all, but there it is, all four. Then we can just grab our piston back. But there you go, it works. So I will be back with you guys with the next update after I get all of this bottom area done. I'm going to put thrusters and stuff like that. We're going to start getting some internals and get a base to the ship. So enjoy this next part of the time lapse. Alright. So this is what I got so far now. So I went ahead and finished the bottom out, got some of our angles, got some thrusters here on the bottom, starting to get some of the bottom area, and I ended up putting some back pancake landing gear in. I need to get them hooked up still, but they're enclosed here on some pistons with some little pipes connecting them, and those will just pop out. And I just need to get a little front gear piece, either that or I'm just going to have it rest on the front of this body, but I'll probably just get a little skid gear on the front, and then the back pancake gear will come down. And then I did some thrusters on the back. We got a couple of big ones there, and then I have a row of smaller ones. I just kind of put some little angled designs there to kind of make it look a little bit more visually interesting. And then this is the little cutout to access the storage unit. I'm probably going to go ahead and put some lights or something, designs around this area and all that. I have a little bit of thrusters left so I can add some more. And then I'm going to begin working on the cockpit and upper body shaping to get this finished up. We still need to put the solar panels on, And the mining lasers need to go on, such like that. And then, of course, the whole cockpit with the canopy glass. So I'm going to go ahead and start working on that next. And I'll be back with you guys when we get that done. How's that for a montage? I hope you enjoyed that. This was a really fun ship to build. I call it the Wolf Spider, and this is a mining monster. This will be great for the start of our playthrough, and maybe we can even bootstrap this to have light crews in the future, and maybe even leave the system with this ship. I actually really like this thing. So we'll see what ends up happening.